back to the Footballtribeug channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspects. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on the channel. Yeah, we are here for Monday morning sport. So really, thank you for joining us. A few things to put across before we get into the depth of this morning's conversation. That and among other things. But yeah, allow me make an update here. Okay, as I wait for the rest of you guys to join us on this morning's broadcasts. But some content coming for you later today. In fact, should be coming at apologies, just having a our audio is tested, but need to update something before, because I think we need to. Oh, I thought I'd change this. Yes, we're having another video coming out. That video will be premiering at 11 a.m. East African time. So please look forward to it. It speaks about why I think Arsenal need 2 strikers. So be sure to check that out, or be intentional on checking that out. So that video will be premiering today at about 11 a.m. East African time. Then that means around 1 p.m. Indian time. So be sure to look for that, to look out for that. And then of course we'll be speaking the FIFA Club World Cup. Then we'll be speaking about transfers and things in that nature. Updates. I would want to begin on an apology note. I would like to apologize the manner in which we cook. Hi Brandon, good morning. How are you, Brandon? Thank you for joining us this morning. Kindly like the broadcast. I'm not seeing your name for the first time, Brandon, I must say. But in case you had never subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's a pleasure to have you. I'd like to begin on an apology note. I must apologize in the manner in which we ended last night's broadcast. I had an emergency that sort of shifted me away from the broadcast. Katnap, hi Katnap, good morning. How are you? Sheikh Moin, hi. How are you? Welcome to the broadcast. Calvin Lee, hello Calvin. How are you doing? Please like the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here, and help support what I do and help support my work. Thank you so much. Do let me know where you're joining us from. Thank you, Team India. Thank you, Team Pakistan, Indonesia, Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria, and all of you for the love and support. Thank you, Peter Parker, Safa Ali, Christine Kosi, Maya Momoto, and all the other usual suspects on the channel. Boss Royal, February, Brandon, Amlen, and everybody else that tunes into this channel every single day to support what we do. In Indonesia. I think you're about the 3rd fan we do have from Indonesia. Sheikh Moin, I'm from Kampala, Uganda. Thanks for asking, Sheikh. Indonesia, we do have some colleagues there, including Ahmad Septa, I think a Real Madrid fan, if I'm not mistaken. But thank you, Team Indonesia. Thank you, Team India, and everybody, and every other country, and every other fan that does follow what we do, that does support what we do. Guys, kindly like the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Please like the broadcast. Click on that like button on the broadcast and help this podcast grow. That's one of the main ways you can contribute to supporting what we do here, by simply pressing a like on the broadcast, by simply clicking that subscribe button. And how are you? I'm all right, my brother. Thanks for asking. I'm all right. I hope you are too. I hope you are all right as well. And everything that is going good for you. I do condole with those that have lost loved ones in the course of the previous week, and we also do celebrate with those that have recorded some triumphs here and there. I will do celebrate with you as well. But thank you for always joining us and sparing a moment to be with us on this channel to support what we do. There are some other honorable mentions I thought I should pass before I get into today's conversation. Zero Requiem is one of those, another usual suspect on the channel. He had for us some feedback on one of our recent broadcasts that was speaking about Mania. People like Adis Tahirovic, one of those, another usual suspect on the channel. I've mentioned Peter Parker, very, people that support us on a daily basis. In India. Wow. That is Sheikh. Yeah, thank you, India. People like Vana, people like Yukan Tavuk, thank you so much. India is one of those countries that have really supported us so much on this channel. So I do not take their love and support for granted. And every time I see another face from India, I'm really happy. And I wish them equally the best of luck. I've had the honor of being extended some invitations from India that if, logistics permit me in the future, I'll be looking forward to honoring. But thanks for the love and support. Welcome to the Football Tribe. Football Tribe is a sports channel. It's a football channel where you come to discuss matters of sport. Where I ask you what teams you support. We discuss your teams. We talk about the latest news. These days, it's transfers dominating the affairs, but also the FIFA Club World Cup will kick on Sunday when Al Ahly and Inter Milan share the spoils in a goalless draw. Before Bayern Munich put 10 past Auckland City with Jamal Musiala scoring the second half hat-trick. People like Thomas Muller, Michael Olise, and Kingsley Coman picked a burst in that one, while Bowie did score the other goal. Then in the late kickoff, that was at 10 p.m., Atletico Madrid lost to Paris Saint-Germain, the reigning champions of Europe, in a 4-0 defeat. The goal scorers included Fabian Ruiz from that game. He did score the first goal of the game, while the other goal was scored by Vitinha. That was at the stroke of halftime. He did step up and scored the other goal on the day. Then, of course, in the second half, PSG continued with their dominancy. Although I thought that I really thought that Atletico Madrid could have done better in some phases of the game, but unfortunately for them, they didn't. For example, the second goal for Paris Saint-Germain that they did concede, that they did score, it came in the aftermath of Gianluigi Donnarumma making a save of Antoine Griezmann on the other side. So I thought that could have, been done, could have been a lot better. But anyway, they sort of left their midfield gaping, the defense gaping, and then Alexander Solov missed a golden opportunity. Then still in the second half, Julian Alvarez squad had pulled one back for Atletico Madrid, but that goal was cancelled out due to offside, and it eventually did not count. So, and that's how, they sort of lost it all. Then I think it was Ibrahim Mbai. Calvin Lee, you're smart. You're so smart. If you're live streaming, thank you so much, Kelvin. Thank you so much for that compliment. Much appreciated. I was trying to find the other goal scorer. Yes, so in the second half, it was Mayuru that scored in the 87th minute to make it 3-0, while Lee Kang-in scored a penalty there in stoppage time to win it 4-4 for Paris Saint-Germain on the day. Guys, please like the broadcast. Please like the broadcast. But also, anyways, fixtures do continue today with the number of games that will be coming our way as far as the FIFA Club World Cup is concerned. And those fixtures will include teams like apologies, are trying to pull something out here on the fixture list. On the fixture list, yes. Fixtures do continue today with Chelsea in action. Chelsea are in action against LAFC. That's at 22 hours, and then that's the only game we will get to follow. But as we speak, in the other results, Pyramids and FC Porto were involved in a goalless draw, while Botafogo beat up against Seattle Sounders by 2-1 in the other results. Now, some of these games are being played in the wee hours as in comparison to Ugandan time. So I may not be able to watch all those games, but I'll try to follow as many as we can as the tournament does advance. So those were the key results that I thought we should discuss. But like I said, Chelsea will be up next against LAFC, while Boca Juniors tomorrow at 1 a.m. Will be up against Benfica. Flamengo at about, I think, 4 a.m. will be up against Flamengo. Sorry, AS Tunis and Flamengo will be in action at about 4. That is 04 hours. That's 4 a.m. And then at 19:00 hours, Dortmund will be up against Fluminense, while River Plate will be up against Uara Reds. That's on Tuesday. Anyways, quickly, let's move away from that and run to Manchester United, who are set to battle it out with Liverpool and Chelsea for the signing of Hugo Ekitike, because they seem to be advancing in talks for Hugo Ekitike. They are really, really interested. And we sort of got this, we had that quote from 2024, where Hugo Ekitike was speaking about his favorite team as a child, and that team being Manchester United, and how he would have loved to play there. So yesterday we did get some reports from Florian Plate, who works with Sky German, saying that Manchester United also made contact. Ever's edits are good. Good to be back, Ever edits. Yo, bro, I'm back. Yes, good to have you back. I kindly like the broadcast. I thank you for the love and support. Ever's edits is one of our usual suspects who, gets to support what we do here, and his support doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you so much. So obviously, Evers edits. I do remember you. You're one of those, semi-regular suspects on this channel, and I do appreciate your support so much. So Manchester United have also made contact with the management of Hugo Ekitike over the weekend. Have expressed a concrete interest. Manchester United are now in contact with Eintracht Frankfurt and Ekitike. No decision has been made yet. Liverpool and Chelsea are still in the race. So we've spoken again extensively about this potential deal. With looks like Ekitike is going to be the other hot cake in the market after. You remember we started off the window with Dean Howson was being pursued by Real Madrid, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool were considering him, and all of those teams. But eventually Real Madrid won the race when they activated his £50 million release clause to sign him from AFC Bournemouth, and that deal was already completed. And then we did get into Florian Wirtz, who was being pursued by Manchester City, Bayern Munich, and Liverpool. Subsequently, Liverpool have won the race, and we do expect that deal will be completed in the course of this week after the player returns from his vacation. Medical is already set. Then paperwork will be signed, and everything will be completed for about £100 million as guaranteed fees and £16 million in add-ons. That amounts to about 135 to 136 million euros. Although, according to Sky Germany, the overall package will increase to 150 million euros over a period of time in add-ons. So let's wait for that deal to be completed. But after that, then Liverpool will be looking to complete the signing of Milos Kakes from AFC Bournemouth, the left back there that they do want to recruit. And maybe very soon we should get to speak about how we do expect Liverpool to set up in the new season, given the kinds of signings they are making and possibly the players they are bound to lose, because Atletico Madrid are interested in signing Andy Robertson. That's the 31-year-old from Liverpool. So if he does leave, of course, they are already getting, Milos Kakes, although I doubt that Liverpool would want to lose both Trent Alexander-Arnold, who they've already conceded to Real Madrid, and then Andy Robertson in the same window. Usually too many changes are oftentimes not good, but let's wait and see, because Atletico Madrid do have Andy Robertson as a priority target for the left back role. And then you look at Andy Robertson, he's another player that has won it all with Liverpool. 2 Premier League titles, 1 UEFA Champions League, I think an FA Cup, 2 Carabao Cups, a Community Shield, I think a UEFA Super Cup, and a FIFA Club World Cup. Is it? So really, they've won it all in regards to major titles with Liverpool. So if he chose to move on at the age of 31, I really wouldn't blame him if he went for another challenge up, in Atletico Madrid, and gets to face off with his former teammate in Andy Robertson. Sorry, in Alexander Trent-Arnold. So that's that. And then, of course, but that all speaks to this Hugo Ekitike being the new hot cake on the market, because 3 Premier League gigantic clubs are really interested in his signature, and that's Manchester United, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Initially, we had reports of Chelsea making, a last-minute bid that was on June the 10th, before the closure of the initial transfer window that opened between June the 1st and June the 10th. And of course, it has reopened officially today. That's June the 16th, that they had made a bid to try and sign the 22-year-old French international, who in about 4 days' time does turn 23. And by the way, on that note, therefore, I wish to say happy birthday to all June babies. I am a June baby for one. I will be, turning another year later this month. That's, I think, about 3 days to the end of the month. So really looking forward to that as well. So, but it looks like no bid was made, but we all know about Chelsea's serious interest in the player, while Liverpool have told the player that they are really interested in signing him. However, they may need to first move on some players, and Darwin Núñez is the culprit in that, a player they are looking to move forward on before they can sign Hugo Ekitike, who in the German Bundesliga last season or last campaign managed to see the back of the net at least 15 times and provided 8 assists, giving him a goal involvement of 23 goals in about 33 appearances, I think. So, yeah, that's the hot cake. Like we've widely spoken about, the situation around strikers and the strikers market on the international scene, given the kinds of limited numbers or options in terms of strikers that are available. So do not be surprised if there are so many teams that are trying to sort of vie for the same players. Most of them are okay. Not most of them. Some of them are within their young ages, still in the development stage. When you talk about strikers like Benjamin Sesko, Hugo Ekitike, Emmanuel Emega, who Chelsea are interested in signing. Of course, Rasmus Højlund, who Napoli and Inter Milan are interested in signing for Manchester United. Joshua Zirkzee, some interest there, only 24 years of age. Some interest from him again back in Italy, where he did join from Bologna to come and join Manchester United last summer. Some interest for him. Then Victor Osimhen, the likes of what's his name? Victor Gyökeres and all the others. Those are some of the common names that you're going to be hearing in as far as the transfer market for strikers is concerned. But of course, there will be other movements going forward, and we'll be doing our best to keep you abreast of that. Galatasaray remain intentional and hopeful or optimistic that they can land the services of Victor Osimhen. Now, Victor Osimhen is one of those players that has dominated the transfer market in the last couple of weeks or so because of the numerous offers that he did receive from Al Hilal, but eventually turned them down to stay in Europe. He declined them to stay in Europe. Of course, they were willing to pay his 75 million release clause. They had already agreed to that with Napoli, but it needed the players' approval and to get the deal through. And then Chelsea remained in the race for Victor Osimhen, as well as Manchester United, while Liverpool did register some interest sometime last week, according to the Italian media. But again, we'll wait to see if that interest is firmed up eventually with an offer for for Victor Osimhen. That's the 26-year-old Nigerian international. Remember, Victor Gyökeres is 27, so these are some of the senior strikers that some of these teams are looking at. And we'll labor to explain the kind of situations that would culminate into a potential deal if he were to join a team like Manchester United, what the conditions would be. I do not think the situation is any different from Chelsea. He has to be willing to join any of those clubs, but more importantly, he must be willing to at least have his wages knifed a bit, because apparently he's on about 12 million euros per season as net pay with Napoli, and that's why they look to move him on. Last season, where he spent the campaign at Galatasaray, where in 30 appearances did score 26 goals and provided 5 assists according to online statistics. And then of course, like I said, Chelsea are still in that race. But regardless, we'll wait to see where the Nigerian star points his future to be. He does want to stay in Europe. Juventus are equally interested in his services. So we'll wait and see if indeed he gets to make the move. But the expectation is definitely that he will be leaving AC Napoli this summer. So that's one of the hot cake news that he's making the rounds in regards to strikers. Speaking of forwards, of course, Matthias Telles did sign a 6-year contract at Tottenham Hotspur after agreeing to join them on a permanent basis following what we deem to be a successful loan. He does join from Bayern Munich for 35 million euros, as well as plus 10 million euros in loan fees. So that deal is already complete. Then Paris Saint-Germain will continue to pursue Ilya Zabani. The defender from AFC Bournemouth. They've already agreed to personal terms on a 5-year contract, according to Fabrizio Romano, with the player. So what is remaining is for Paris Saint-Germain to agree to a transfer fee with AFC Bournemouth, which I think may not be too hard. But I do sort of feel for Bournemouth if they are losing almost the entirety of their backline, considering that Milos Kakes could be on his way to Liverpool, as well as Dinhausen, who has already left the club and joined Real Madrid. So, but we'll wait and see how they do cope. But in regards for a left back, we have already found a replacement in Adrien Traffet from Stade Reims in France as a replacement for Milos Kakes. Then away from that, Gennaro Gattuso was appointed the new Italy national team manager, which was quite interesting turn of events for me personally. One that I did not see coming, especially coming off the back of Luciano Spalletti, who was sacked in the aftermath of Italy losing to Norway by 3 goals to 0, I think previously, and then of course we all know that Luciano Spalletti did come in to replace Roberto Mancini, who had guided Italy to the triumph of the Euros at 2020 that were played in 2021. So basically, that's what caused, I think, the trouble in paradise. And Mandem was shown the exit at the Italian national team. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But for me, the appointment of Gattuso, of course, he's been at teams like Valencia, he's been at AC Milan, and he's not really been so successful in some of those pursuits. I think Napoli was one of those where he did manage, and while he has a good level of experience, you sort of want to wait and see what that sort of means for the 47-year-old Italian international, how he will fare with the Italian national team. But speaking of his managerial experience, some of the teams that he's managed, he did start out at Sion, and then before that was in 2013, and then moved to Palmo. After that, he went to OFI Crete, and then he was at Pisa between 2015 and 2016, then 2016-2017, still at the same side. Then for 2 years, between 2017 and 2019, he was at AC Milan. After that, he went to Napoli between 2019 and 2021. He then joined Valencia for the 2022-2023 season, but he was sacked before the end of that season and joined Marseille, where he was. From Marseille, he did join Hajduk Split, and then now he's been appointed to the Italian national team. One of those, famous Italian players at AC Milan, of course, very rough, known for being a solid midfielder during the times of his prime. So that's that. And then Galatasaray are stepping up their interest in Hakan Çalhanoğlu, there from Inter Milan, after it was revealed that the 31-year-old is up for sale. Inter Milan are okay letting him go. We all know that Inter Milan part ways with Simone Inzaghi and have since appointed Christian Chivu as their new manager on a 2-year contract. So Galatasaray are really pursuing Hakan Çalhanoğlu, but they also remain in pursuit for Manchester City midfielder Ilkay Gundogan. The 34-year-old German international has attracted interest from Galatasaray, who are also, by the way, interested in signing Barcelona goalkeeper Andres Marc ter Stegen there from Barcelona. But that comes after their attempts to sign Alson Ramsey-Becker from Liverpool were rebuffed. The player did say he doesn't want to leave Liverpool, where he still has 1 year left to his contract with an option to extend it for a further year, essentially, which makes it 2 years. Of course, Liverpool did sign a goalkeeper in Mamad Dashville from Valencia last summer, although he stayed there on loan and has since joined them after the season did end. They did lose Kelleher to Brentford, who had lost Mark Flaken to Bayer Leverkusen in those goalkeeping switches. So Liverpool are in a very comfortable spot when it comes to goalkeepers. They also did sign recently a very young goalkeeper, I think about 19 or 20 years of age, very young goalkeeper whose name has sort of eluded my mind at the moment. So that is also there. Then Diego Copla did complete his transfer to Brighton and Hove Albion, one of those deals that are completed. And then Chelsea in the midst of their pursuit for Mike Maignan from AC Milan. That's the French, the 29-year-old French national team goalkeeper. Enzo Maresca has come out to sort of water down those reports, saying that Robert Sanchez is their number one, Felipe Jorgensen is their number two, while Mike Penders just rejoined them, of course, and they will look to assess that situation and see how forward they can move with him. And then, of course, we know that Stefano Pioli is set to join Fiorentina as their new manager on a 3-year contract, as some of the latest news there. Then, of course, some of the news that did make the rounds in the course of the weekend was the fuss about or revolving around Victor Gyökeres, speaking about Arsenal's interest and all these other clubs, Man United, Juventus, all those teams that have made inquiries for the Swedish international. But apparently, although he does prioritize moving to the Premier League, and particularly Arsenal, because of their promise of the UEFA Champions League, he's not yet ultimately turned down Manchester United. Then, as we are still, trying to sort of comprehend that news, make sense of it, the reports did come out that Arsenal were looking to step away from their pursuit of Victor Gyökeres for now, because Sporting Lisbon are refusing to back on their asking price. It is reported that Arsenal do not want to offer any fee above 70 million euros in that transfer fee, and yet apparently the Sporting side would love more than that. So let's keep our eyes peeled to Footballtribe and be sure that I'll be bringing you the latest of the news from all those respective transfer dealings that we do expect. Personally, I don't know. I get the feeling that we're going to spend the next 2 weeks in as far as June is concerned, in a lot of gossip and speculation here and there. Of course, some teams will be concluding some transfer businesses, but when it comes to some of the major transfers, then really we're going to spend a lot of news time in gossip. Then, of course, as we draw closer to the kickoff of the pre-seasons for the respective teams, then that is when I do expect things to start moving slightly a bit faster, and then into July and things of that nature. Of course, most pre-seasons do kick off in July. Anyways, I'm moving away from that. Let's rush to the transfer speculation and gossip again, more from different sides. Real Madrid, by the way, do hold interest in signing Miles Lewis Kelly from Arsenal, although they are yet to firm up a bid for the 18-year-old England international, whose contract does expire in June 2026. Arsenal are already looking to renew his contract and are apparently hopeful that they will get his signature, so they are not in a panic. But Real Madrid are being widely reported that they do hold interest in the England international, the midfielder, come left back. For most of you that do care to know, Miles Lewis Kelly is a midfielder, although Mikel Arteta has shown us that he can play really well at left back. Then Real Madrid are hoping to snap up Liverpool defender Ibrahim Konate at 26 years of age on a free transfer next summer. Yes, Ibrahim Konate, the French defender, has 1 year left to his current contract with Liverpool. Contract offers from Liverpool have yet to be, new contract has yet to be signed. Player is yet to agree to terms with the Reds. Then Arsenal are actively pursuing. We've spoken about this widely, that Arsenal are trying to push on both fronts for Sporting Lisbon's Victor Gyökeres and RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. So they're pushing on two fronts to see if they can land any of those. However, Arsenal think that the asking price for Gyökeres is too high, so we'll focus on signing Sesko or Aston Villa's forward Oli Watkins. Now, remember when I told you that we do have a video premiering later today at around 11 a.m.? Yes, that video will be speaking about Arsenal and their situation for strikers, why I think they need to sign strikers, and again, I'll be looking forward for your feedback on that as well. Anyways, let's quickly run away from that and turn to Manchester United, where Rasmus Højlund has interest. Where Inter Milan have interest in Man United is Rasmus Højlund. That has been widely reported. Although United, some reports do suggest that Man United would want to give him another chance next season and sort of see how that goes. Of course, last season he did score only 4 goals in the Premier League, but his counterpart also in Joshua Zirkzee could only score 3. Then we've spoken about Man United's interest in Hugo Ekitike. Then Joshua Zirkzee is another figure that they hope to retain, but I get the feeling that if Manchester United do sign a striker in this window, after missing out on Liam Delap, whether it's Victor Osimhen, Victor Gyökeres, Hugo Ekitike, or whoever it could be, then I do think that one of Rasmus Højlund or Joshua Zirkzee will be moved on. That's my expectation, really. Then Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Tottenham are all keeping tabs on Manchester United winger Alejandro Garnacho. The 20-year-old Argentine has profoundly been reported that he would love to stay in the Premier League as opposed to moving elsewhere amid his interest from the likes of Napoli and Bayer Leverkusen. Remember, Bayer Leverkusen are under the charges of former Manchester United manager in Ten Hag. Then Al Hilal have improved their offer for Napoli striker and Manchester United target Victor Osimhen, proposing a deal worth an annual salary of up to £42.6 million. I think that's about 50 million euros. By the way, Al Hilal are yet to give up entirely on the pursuit of Victor Osimhen, despite missing out on his signature prior to the kickoff of the FIFA Club World Cup. And then AC Milan are in pursuit of 2 Arsenal players, Jakub Kiwior and Alexander Zinchenko, although the news in recent days does emphasize Alexander Zinchenko. That's the 28-year-old Ukrainian international, who is, by the way, another midfielder, although At Manchester City is where he was turned into a left back, and he proceeded to play in that role at Arsenal. But once every now and then, we've seen him also being slotted into that midfield role. For those of you that do remember, Arsenal in their 2-0 draw against PSV at the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League, they did play Alexander Zinchenko in that left midfield role, and he scored in that game. So that's the player in which AC Milan are interested in signing. However, the two parties are yet to agree on personal terms. They still have a disparity in the players' wage demands and what AC Milan are willing to offer. It's reported that at Arsenal, he does get paid about 5 million euros as net pay per season, and that's probably what he's looking for. He only has 1 year left to his current contract with the Gunners. Then Paris and the reported fee is about 15 million euros, which is about 12 million pounds thereabout. So quite affordable. Of course, Arsenal will be taking the hit on that one. They did send him for about 32 or 35 million pounds from Manchester City a couple of seasons ago. And then I think that was prior to the start of the 2022-2023 league campaign. Then Paris Saint-Germain, we've spoken about them agreeing terms with Ilya Zabani, the 22-year-old Ukraine centre-back from AFC Bournemouth. We've spoken about Galatasaray's interest in Andres Ter Stegen, as well as, Andre Ter Stegen or Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, the German goalkeeper, while Portuguese giants want to buy Southampton's English winger, Tyler Dibling, only 19 years of age, although I do not suspect or expect that he will be leaving England amidst interest from the likes of Manchester United. His former manager in Russell Martin did say he's one of the most exciting youngsters he's seen in the Premier League and one to watch for the future. So those are some of the major trending, transfer speculation and gossip as of this morning. Of course, Manchester United would consider signing Anton Semenyo from AFC Bournemouth or Ebeleche Eze from Crystal Palace should they miss out in their pursuit for Brian Mbeumo. That's according to ESPN. And then Atletico Madrid are being reported to have interest in Victor Gyökeres as well, despite having two strikers in Julian Alvarez and Alexander Soloff. Alexander Soloff, 29 years of age there for the Norwegian international. Then Tottenham, any other I can pull out that is quite key. Then yes, at Brentford, where the search for Thomas Frank's replacement is on, their set-piece coach Keith Andrews is one of the contenders among other names, including Kian McKenna from Ipswich Town. So those are some of the names that are being floated around that could Brentford could look to appoint as a replacement for the departed Thomas Frank, who joined Tottenham Hotspurs, who are now trying to return to Brentford and sign Brian Mbeumo. They already had interest in him even prior to the bringing in of Thomas Frank. Then we've spoken about then Al Ahly, that's a Saudi Pro League side, have made contact with Ange Postecoglou about becoming a head coach if Matthias Jesseils exists, former Tottenham boss, among candidates being considered in the event of Al Ahly managerial change. Xavi is another option. That's according to The Athletic. Then contract talks are already ongoing between Al Ahly and Matthias Jesseils, 37-year-old, led Al Ahly to ACL triumph. That's, I think, the Asian Cup League triumph, but deal expires in summer 2026. So let's keep our eyes peeled to that as well and see what update we'll be able to fetch from that side. Maybe there's another story that I thought we should discuss. Yes. Do not be surprised if Renato Vieira does leave Chelsea this summer. really. So then Brighton have agreed an 11 million euro fee for Hellas Verona centre back, that is Diego Chipola, on a 5-year contract. We've spoken about him. So let's wait and see. We did see some pictures of Liam Delap in his first training session with Chelsea, and I must say he looked quite impressively well. So Chelsea will be playing at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the United States there. So we are looking forward to that as well. Then, yes, Ryan Cherki. Now, Ryan Cherki has had some interesting comments that he's made recently after joining Manchester City. He spoke about his anguish of the manner in which they lost to Man United in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Europa League. And he goes on to say that that's why he was even more eager to join Manchester City. He said, I didn't like it when Manchester United won the game against Lyon because I'm a Lyonnaise. Now I'm waiting for the game to kill them. I just wanted to go to Manchester City. He is waiting for the Manchester derby to kill Man United. But I think he may be in for a hard surprise, because while Manchester City have remained dominant in the last 8 years of English football, of course, losing it a couple of times here and there, only to Liverpool, by the way, in that spell. United have always been competitive in that Manchester derby, and they've gone to win some of them, including beating Man City by 2-1 last campaign. So maybe it's not as simple as he may think. But anyways, let's wait for the start of the season. Guys, do not forget to on Wednesday this week, the Premier League fixtures are going to be released. So again, I'll be here to brief you on that story. I'll be bringing you some of the fixture highlights from that as well, should that go through. But of course, we are not expecting any hitches in regards to the release of those fixtures this week on Wednesday. So that's the other story that should be coming on your screens. Anyways, guys, it's clock 10 a.m. And it's been 42 minutes of doing this. Allow me to wish you a wonderful Monday, a blessed whole new week, and let's do this again later tonight when we get to engage tonight. And I hope the transfers will have offered us more stories to talk about, but expect the transfer window to be a bit murky for some teams. Expect a lot of contravening stories, because usually what happens is that players, agents leak stories and sort of cause other teams to act a little faster than they are acting. They leak stories to sort of clubs also leak stories to sort of get some clubs to up their bids. So, for example, if let's say there is pursuit for a player like Jamie Gittens, Dortmund could leak a story that maybe Arsenal have made a bid of maybe 55 million euros, and yet Chelsea's final bid had been 50 million euros. That's to cause Chelsea to up their bid to maybe 57 or 60 million euros and things of that nature. So those stories get leaked by clubs, by players, agents, and things of that nature, really. Sometimes by the clubs that are pursuing themselves. For example, say leaking out stories like we are walking away from that deal, negotiations were not heading in the direction we had hoped, and things of that nature. So that's why you keep hearing contravening stories. These ones are saying it's advancing. Here the story is saying they are calling their interest and they are moved on to this other target and things of that nature. But usually that's the nature of the transfer window. So please bear with it until you see a player holding out that jersey of your club. Then do not count a deal as completely sealed. Although we keep saying that the deal for Martin Zubimendi to Arsenal is as good as done. We are simply waiting for maybe July the 1st or thereabout for the player to officially be announced as an Arsenal player. Anyways, guys, it's always been a pleasure to be with you. I want to say thank you to Brandon, to Katnap, to Sheikh Moin, to Calvin Lee, to Evers Edits, and to Ahmad Septa. Hello, Ahmad Septa. Good to have you back. Always. That's Ahmad Septa. Is from Indonesia. Always a pleasure to have him on this channel. He does join Kelvin Lee there, all from Indonesia. But thank you so much, Ahmed Septa. Although we had missed you for the last couple of days, I must acknowledge. But nonetheless, I never hesitated to give you a shout out because you're one of our usual suspects. Anyways, thank you so much for being with us. Let's do this again later today. Let me leave you go, return to your respective duty stations, and I'll see you next time. Stay blessed and have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.